Let's study 9th standard ICSE Physics, Chapter 6b, Energy Flow.
We know that a typical food chain starts with a producer, which is usually a plant. They trap the sunlight and convert it into food. They are called producers, which are eaten by primary consumers, that is a herbivore, then a secondary consumer, which is a carnivore or an omnivore, and a tertiary consumer, which is a top carnivore. We may have quaternary consumer also, like man, etc., which eat other carnivores. When all these organisms die, they decay, the dead bodies decay, and the nutrients go back into the soil and they are recycled. But here we are not talking about nutrients or food, we're talking about energy. Well, the energy is dissipated into the atmosphere and ultimately into space. That means energy never goes back to the sun. It's a linear food chain. It's not a cyclic food chain. It's not a cyclic energy flow. Now, what is interesting is, in any ecosystem, and yes, this is double ticked, so if you practice this, suppose the sun gives a lot of energy to the plants, which absorbs the energy by photosynthesis. Out of all the energy that it has absorbed from the solar energy, some of it is wasted as evaporation, conduction and convection, transpiration, etc. So let's assume that a totally 20,000 calories of heat energy was trapped in the food of the plant. These values are not important. Any random values will do. But remember, the value should be in decreasing order. I'll explain why. Out of all this energy, it will use, let's say, half of it for its own respiration and metabolic activities. So that is released into the atmosphere, lost forever. And how much energy is stored in its fruits and vegetables? Let's say 8,000 calories. That is called the net production. That means when a herbivore eats it, he will only get this much energy, not the 20,000 calories which it obtained from the sun. So out of this 8,000 calories, in fact, the herbivore will be able to consume only 3,000 calories. The remaining 5,000 calories will be just lost because we don't eat each and every part of the plant. Some parts of the plant just are thrown away, they die, they decay, and the energy is lost into the atmosphere. So we got 3,000 calories. Now, even out of that, we ingest or excrete some of it. So there is energy loss there. And we do respiration for our own activities. There is a loss of heat energy there. So how much energy, how many calories are stored in our body, in our flesh, in our fats? Let's say 1,400 calories is stored in us. Now, when we are consumed by the carnivore, I hope that does not happen, but if we are consumed by a carnivore, they won't eat each and every part of our body. Some of our parts like bones, etc. will be just thrown away. We die, the decay of some parts of the body results in a wastage of energy. Let's say 1,000 calories are just wasted. So the carnivore is getting just 300 calories from our body. That is why we should try to convince them not to eat us, because that's such a waste of energy. But because of taste reasons, if they eat 300 calories, out of that they will lose energy in excretion and respiration themselves. So how much energy is actually stored in their body? Just 67 calories. They ate whole herbivore and they got just 67 calories. That is why they eat a lot of herbivores, and each herbivore has to eat a lot of plants. Now, if this is eaten by the next tertiary consumer or top carnivore, then again there will be a wastage, a degradation of energy, and finally when this consumer dies, even its dead body will be decomposed, and the remaining 5 calories which was stored in his body from this much gross production is just released into the atmosphere. So ultimately all the energy is dissipated. It never goes back to the sun. And clearly you can see that at each level, some of the energy is degraded. This is called degradation of energy. No machine is 100% efficient, not even living things. If you switch on the electric bulb or electric tube light, it has been given 100 joule of electrical energy. You won't be able to convert that 100 joule of electrical energy into 100 joule of light energy. No. Perhaps 25 joule will be wasted as heat energy. We can't help it. Energy will be wasted in every transfer of energy. That's a law called the Thermodynamic Law. Now, one thing you must notice is this decrease in the amount of energy being passed is the reason why the population of plants is a lot and the population of carnivores is the least. So this is called the food pyramid, where the producers, the biomass is the highest, or the population is the highest, then the herbivores have a lesser population and the carnivores have the least population. And that means that if each one of us become vegetarian, then we will be preventing a lot of wastage of energy, and there will be enough food grains to feed every human being. There will be no starvation at all, because to produce 20 calorie of meat, we have to take care of 20,000 calorie of plants. Instead, if this 20,000 calorie of plants could directly or indirectly be eaten by the organism, then all this wastage will be prevented. Laws of thermodynamic. The first law is well known, that energy can be transformed from one form to the other, but it can neither be created nor destroyed. And the second law states that whenever energy is put to work, that is, energy is transferred, a part of it is always converted into unuseful form as heat, mainly due to friction and radiation. This is the second law of thermodynamics. And we saw the example of this law in the ecosystem. This law is applicable for all types of machines, and even in the ecosystem it is applicable, which we just studied.
Hi students, this is AJ sir. If you like this video, press the like button. If you would like to enroll for my online test series or online lectures, email me or message me on Instagram. Check the description for more information.